The Silent Declaration. The Meridian colonies were always known for their auroras. Even now, as emergency beacons painted the sky in harsh reds, the natural phenomenon continued its ethereal dance above the devastation. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the EFSS Hyperion, her hands clenched behind her back as she watched rescue shuttles dart between the burning structures below. 17,000 confirmed dead, Captain Rodriguez reported, his voice barely containing his anger. The Dominion didn't even issue a warning. The Meridian colonies had been Earth's first successful extrasolar settlement, a triumph of human perseverance and ingenuity. Now they were a graveyard. The Dominion fleet had struck with surgical precision, targeting vital infrastructure and population centers. Their message was clear. Humanity's expansion ended here. They're still broadcasting, Lieutenant Park called from her communication station. The same message, on repeat. Chen nodded. She'd memorized it by now. The Galactic Dominion's ultimatum was simple. Earth would surrender its colonial ambitions and submit to Dominion oversight, or face extinction. They'd chosen the Meridian colonies as their example, knowing it would hurt the most. Any word from Earth Command? Chen asked, though she already knew the answer. The quantum comm had been silent for hours. Nothing yet, Commander, Park replied. But we're picking up something else. Multiple signatures, coming in fast from the outer system. Chen's tactical display lit up with new contacts. Dominion warships, at least a dozen of them, moving into attack formation. They'd been waiting, knowing Earth would send help. Battle stations, Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the thunder of her heart. And get me a direct channel to the Dominion flagship. The bridge crew scrambled to their positions as alert klaxons blared throughout the ship. The Hyperion was Earth's newest warship, packed with experimental technology that hadn't even been field-tested yet. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and probably about to die. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the alien face of Dominion Commander Vexthor. His crystalline features were arranged in what passed for amusement among his kind. "Commander Chen," he purred, "I was hoping it would be you, still playing at being a real military power." Chen met his gaze. "This was a civilian colony, Vexthor. There were children here. There were potential soldiers here," he corrected. "The Dominion has seen how quickly your kind breeds, how fast you spread. We've studied your history. You're a plague, Commander Chen. We're simply the cure." "Then you clearly haven't studied our history well enough," Chen replied. "Because if you had, you'd know what happens to those who underestimate humanity." She cut the transmission before he could respond. "All hands, this is the commander. The Dominion thinks they know humanity. They think they can predict us, control us, eliminate us. Today we prove them wrong. Today we show them why you never, ever corner a human." The Hyperion's experimental quantum drive hummed to life as Chen input commands into her tactical console. The Dominion ships were spreading out, trying to trap them against Meridian's gravity well. It was a solid strategy, one that would work against any normal ship. But the Hyperion wasn't normal. "Lieutenant Park, transmit all our sensor data back to Earth. Captain Rodriguez, engage emergency protocol Theta 9. And someone wake up Dr. Zhang in engineering. Tell her it's time to test her toy." The bridge crew shared knowing looks. Dr. Zhang's toy was the reason the Hyperion had been chosen for this mission. A theoretical weapon that even its creator wasn't sure would work. As the Dominion ships opened fire, their energy weapons lighting up space like artificial stars, Chen allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had always been at its best when backed into a corner. The Dominion was about to learn that lesson the hard way. The Hyperion's quantum field activated, warping space in ways that shouldn't have been possible. Dr. Zhang's device, hidden in the heart of the ship, began its work. And in that moment, as physics itself seemed to bend around them, Commander Sarah Chen made humanity's response to the Dominion's ultimatum. It wasn't delivered with words or broadcasts. It was delivered with action, with defiance, with the unshakable human spirit that had carried their species from caves to the stars. The silent declaration was made. Humanity would not submit. Not today. Not ever. And as the Hyperion prepared to make history, as 17,000 dead colonists waited to be avenged, as Earth itself held its breath, the real war began. The aurora above Meridian continued its dance, nature's own reminder that even in humanity's darkest hour, there was still beauty in the universe, and where there was beauty, there was hope. Hope, and the unstoppable force of human determination. Wings of defiance. Dr. Maya Jung hadn't slept in 3 days. The Hyperion's engine room thrummed around her as she made final adjustments to her quantum field generator, her fingers dancing across holographic controls with practiced precision. The device wasn't supposed to be ready yet. None of this was supposed to be happening yet. Status report. Commander Chen's voice crackled through the comm. Maya wiped sweat from her forehead, leaving a streak of engine grease across her brow. The quantum field is stable, but I can't guarantee it'll hold under combat conditions. We never got to run the full testing sequence. Well, consider this a field test, Chen replied. The Dominion ships are in range. Whatever your device is going to do, Dr. Zhang, it needs to do it now. Through the engine room's observation window, Maya watched as golden beams of Dominion energy weapons reached for the Hyperion. This was the moment of truth. Either her calculations were correct, or they were all about to die. Activating quantum field in 3, 2, 1. The device hummed to life, and reality itself seemed to shiver. The Dominion's weapons fire struck the quantum field and disappeared. Not deflected, not absorbed, but simply ceased to exist. On the bridge, Commander Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction as she watched the Dominion fleet's confusion. Their sensors must be going crazy, trying to understand what they were seeing. How is this possible? Captain Rodriguez whispered, staring at the tactical display. Dr. Zhang's quantum field doesn't just deflect energy, Chen explained. It temporarily shifts anything it touches into a parallel probability state. Those energy beams still exist. They're just somewhere else. The Dominion ships were regrouping, adjusting their formation. They'd never encountered anything like this before. No species had developed probability manipulation technology. It was supposed to be impossible. Commander, Lieutenant Park called out, "We're being hailed. It's Vexthor again." Chen nodded. Put him through. The Dominion commander's crystalline features were no longer arranged in amusement. If anything, he looked worried. "What have you done?" he demanded. "This technology, it violates fundamental laws of physics." "That's humanity's specialty," Chen replied. "We see laws of physics more as guidelines. Suggestions, really." "You're playing with forces you don't understand," Vexthor warned. "This is why the Dominion exists, to prevent lesser species from." "Lesser species," Chen cut him off. "We just nullify your entire fleet's weapons with technology you thought was impossible. Maybe it's time to reconsider your definition of lesser." She cut the transmission again, then turned to her crew. "Dr. Zhang's device won't last forever. We need to make this count. Tactical, target their lead ship's propulsion systems. Let's show them what else this lesser species can do." The Hyperion's own weapons came online, conventional railguns and plasma torpedoes enhanced by the quantum field. When they struck the Dominion ships, they didn't just damage them. They phased parts of their hulls into alternate probabilities, leaving impossible holes in their armor. In engineering, Maya watched her readings with growing concern. "Commander, the field is starting to destabilize. We've got maybe 10 minutes before it collapses completely." "Then we'd better make them count," Chen replied. "All hands, this is it. Show them why humanity deserves its place among the stars." The battle that followed would be remembered in both human and Dominion history. A single Earth ship, armed with impossible technology, taking on a Dominion battle fleet. The Hyperion danced between enemy vessels, its quantum field flickering like ghost lights as it phased in and out of normal space. One by one, the Dominion ships fell silent, their systems compromised by weapons they couldn't defend against. Not destroyed. Chen had been explicit about that. They wanted the Dominion crews alive. They wanted witnesses. As the quantum field finally collapsed, the Hyperion stood triumphant among the disabled Dominion fleet. Maya Zhang slumped against her console, exhausted but proud. They'd done it. They'd proven it was possible. Send word to Earth Command, Chen ordered. Tell them the quantum shield works, and tell them to prepare the rest of the fleet. This was just the beginning. Lieutenant Park's console lit up with new signals. Commander, multiple quantum signatures detected. Earth ships, dozens of them, jumping in. The reinforcements had arrived. Not that they were needed now, but their presence sent a clear message to the Dominion. Humanity wasn't just fighting back. They were revolutionizing warfare itself. As Earth's fleet surrounded the disabled Dominion ships, Commander Chen recorded a message of her own, to be broadcast across every frequency the Dominion used. To the Galactic Dominion, consider this our formal response to your ultimatum. Humanity will not be contained. We will not be controlled. And we are most certainly not lesser. The stars are for everyone, not just those who arrived first. Remember Meridian. Remember what happens when you push humanity too far. This is only the beginning. The message would echo across Dominion space, carrying with it the first whispers of change. Humanity had done the impossible, and the galaxy would never be the same. Echoes of courage. The news spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Humanity had done the impossible. A single Earth ship had defeated an entire Dominion battle fleet. But in the dimly lit conference room of the EFSS Hyperion, Commander Chen knew that one victory wouldn't be enough. They're mobilizing everything they have, Intelligence Officer Raj Patel reported, his holographic display showing Dominion fleet movements across multiple sectors. Our victory at Meridian scared them more than we anticipated. Maya Zhang, now officially promoted to Chief Science Officer, studied the data with tired eyes. They should be scared. The quantum field technology changes everything. But she hesitated. They're also adapting. Look at these energy signatures. They're trying to develop countermeasures. The doors slid open, and Captain Rodriguez entered with an unexpected guest. The alien was tall, with iridescent scales, and 4 eyes that seemed to catch every detail in the room. A Nexaran, one of the Dominion's supposedly loyal servant races. This is Ambassador Ctel, Rodriguez announced. He represents, well, perhaps he should explain himself. The Nexaran stepped forward, his movements careful and deliberate. What you did at Meridian has given hope to many who had none. The Dominion's grip on the galaxy isn't as absolute as they pretend. But until now, no one dared to challenge them openly. Chen studied the ambassador carefully. And now we see it's possible. My people aren't the only ones. The Aetherian Collective, the Meyer Conclave, even some of the crystalline minds that make up the Dominion's leadership. There are cracks forming. We need to act before they conceal them. Lieutenant Park's voice came urgently through the intercom. Commander, we're detecting quantum ruptures. Multiple Dominion signatures. They're trying to box us in. Chen was already moving. Battle stations. Ambassador, if you're really on our side, now's the time to prove it. Kill's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. The Nexaran defense grid in this sector. I can give you control of it. Do it, Chen ordered as she reached the bridge. The tactical display showed 5 Dominion warships emerging from quantum space, their designs unlike anything they'd seen before. The Dominion had been busy. Their weapons are different, Maya reported from engineering. They're trying to match our quantum frequency. If they succeed, they won't. Chen cut her off. Ambassador Ctel, we need that defense grid now. The Nexaran's fingers danced across a hidden console in his robes. Suddenly, orbital platforms around the nearby Nexaran colony lit up, their weapons turning on the Dominion ships. Multiple Nexaran vessels decloaking, Park announced. They're fighting the Dominion. The battle that followed was chaos. The Dominion's new quantum-disrupting weapons clashed with the Hyperion's improved shields, while Nexaran ships darted between the larger vessels, their advanced stealth technology making them nearly impossible to track. In engineering, Maya worked frantically to adapt their defenses. The Dominion ships, they're using some kind of quantum resonance weapon. They're trying to force our probability shifts to collapse into single states. Can you counter it? Chen asked, gripping her command chair as the ship shuddered under enemy fire. Already on it, Maya replied. Their mistake was thinking we'd use the same frequency twice, initiating random quantum state fluctuations. Now, the Hyperion's quantum field began to shift erratically, making it impossible for the Dominion's weapons to lock onto any single probability state. But the real surprise came from the Nexaran ships. They're transmitting technical data, Maya reported excitedly. Their stealth technology. Commander, if we can combine this with our quantum field. Chen understood immediately. Do it. Ambassador Ktel, I assume this exchange of technology has your approval. The Nexaran's holographic image nodded. The time for secrets is over. The Dominion kept us divided, believing we needed their guidance and control. Today, we proved them wrong. As Maya integrated the Nexaran stealth systems with their quantum field technology, something unprecedented happened. The Hyperion didn't just phase between probabilities. It began to exist in multiple states simultaneously, appearing to be in several places at once. The Dominion fleet's formation broke as they tried to target a ship that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere. Their new weapons, designed to counter the original quantum field, were useless against this hybrid technology. Message coming in from Earth Command, Park announced. Sir, they're reporting similar uprisings across Dominion space. The Aetherians, the Mire, the Nexarans. Everyone's rising up. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Send a message to all allied ships. The Dominion thought they could keep us divided and weak. They thought they could control us through fear. But they forgot something important. Tyranny doesn't just create victims. It creates survivors. And survivors learn to fight back. As the Dominion ships retreated, their mighty fleet broken by the combined forces of races they had once dominated, Ambassador Ktel turned to Chen. This is only the beginning. The Dominion will return with everything they have. Let them come, Chen replied. They wanted to teach us our place in the galaxy. Instead, they taught us how to unite it. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as ships from a dozen different species gathered around the Hyperion. The resistance wasn't just about humanity anymore. It was about every race that had ever been told they were lesser, every civilization that had been forced to submit. And as Chen looked at the combined fleet on her tactical display, she knew that the real war, the war for the soul of the galaxy, was just beginning. Storm of Retribution. The combined fleet gathered at the edge of Dominion space was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Earth ships with their quantum field technology flew alongside Nexaran stealth vessels. Aetherian energy crafts pulsed with living light, while the crystalline ships of the Mire Conclave refracted starlight into deadly weapons. Commander Chen stood on the Hyperion's bridge, now expanded to accommodate representatives from each allied species. The tactical display showed thousands of ships, all prepared for what could be the decisive battle of the war. The Dominion has withdrawn to their core systems, Ambassador Ktel reported, his 4 eyes fixed on the strategic display. They've activated their ancient defense networks. Getting through them won't be easy. Maya Zhang, who had been working closely with scientists from every allied species, stepped forward. Maybe we don't have to get through them at all. She gestured to a holographic simulation. We've combined Earth's quantum field technology with Nexaran phase shifting and Aetherian energy manipulation. In theory, we could create a quantum tunnel directly into Dominion space. In theory. Chen raised an eyebrow. The calculations are solid, Maya insisted. But we've never attempted anything on this scale. we'd be manipulating space-time across multiple probability states while maintaining phase coherence for thousands of ships. The Aetherian representative, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid form, pulsed with interest. The power requirements would be enormous. But if we link our ship's energy cores, the Meyer crystals could act as amplifiers, added their crystalline ambassador, its faceted surface refracting light in complex patterns. We could create a cascade effect. Chen studied the plan. It was audacious, borderline insane, and exactly the kind of thing the Dominion wouldn't expect. How long do you need to prepare? Hours, Maya replied. But Commander, there's a catch. Once we create the tunnel, we'll have only minutes to get the entire fleet through before it collapses. If any ships are still inside when that happens, they'll be scattered across multiple probability states, Kittel finished grimly. Lost forever between dimensions. The weight of command pressed heavily on Chen's shoulders. This was bigger than one ship, one species, or even one galaxy. This was about freedom itself. Send word to all ships, she ordered. We move in 6 hours, and let's hope the Dominion enjoys their last sunset as rulers of the galaxy. The preparation was a symphony of cooperation. Earth engineers worked alongside Nexaran technicians, while Aetherian energy beings merged with ship systems to enhance their capabilities. The Meyer arranged their crystalline vessels in precise geometric patterns, creating a vast network of quantum amplifiers. In engineering, Maya coordinated with her counterparts from other species, their different approaches to science combining in ways that would have been impossible just months ago. The quantum matrices are aligned, she reported. Nexaran phase generators at maximum. Aetherian power grid is stable. Meyer amplification network is ready. Chen took a deep breath. All ships, this is Commander Chen. What we do here today will echo through history. The Dominion thought they could keep us divided, keep us weak. Instead, they united us, made us stronger. Today, we show them the true power of unity. Quantum tunnel forming, Maya announced. Space itself began to twist and fold, reality bending as thousands of ships channeled their power into a single point. The void ahead rippled like water, then split open into a swirling vortex of probability and light. First wave, move out, Chen ordered. Earth ships led the charge, their quantum fields protecting the fleet as they plunged into the tunnel. Behind them came the Nexaran vessels, their stealth systems helping maintain the tunnel's stability. The Aetherians and Meyer brought up the rear, their unique technologies keeping the passage open. Inside the quantum tunnel, reality itself seemed to fragment. Ships existed in multiple states at once, their crews experiencing moments that both had and hadn't happened. Through it all, Maya's calculations held true, guiding them through the chaos of broken physics. They emerged in the heart of Dominion space, directly above their capital world. The Dominion's mighty defense fleet, caught completely off guard, scrambled to respond. All ships accounted for, Park reported triumphantly. The tunnel held. Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction before issuing her next order. Deploy the quantum cascade. Let's show them what true unity can accomplish. Every ship in the Allied fleet activated their hybrid technology simultaneously. Quantum fields merged with Nexaran phase shifts, amplified by Meyer crystals, and powered by Aetherian energy. The result was beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. Reality itself seemed to shudder as probability waves cascaded through Dominion space. Their mighty warships found themselves existing in multiple states at once, their weapons useless against targets that both were and weren't there. Message from the Dominion High Command, Park announced. They're requesting terms of surrender. The bridge fell silent. After all this time, all the battles and sacrifices, it seemed almost anticlimactic. But Chen knew better. This wasn't just a military victory. It was the dawn of a new era. Tell them our terms are non-negotiable, she replied. The age of Dominion control is over. It's time for something new, something better. As the Allied fleet moved to secure the Dominion capital, Chen looked at the diverse crew on her bridge. Humans working alongside aliens, former enemies now trusted allies. The Dominion had tried to prevent exactly this, fearing what different species might accomplish together. They had been right to be afraid. United, they were unstoppable. Dawn of tomorrow. 1 year after the fall of the Dominion, the galactic landscape had changed beyond recognition. The former Dominion capital, once a monument to control and segregation, now hosted the first Galactic Concordat. Representatives from every spacefaring species gathered in chambers that had once been reserved for Dominion leadership alone. Commander, now Admiral, Chen stood at the observation deck of the Hyperion, watching ships from dozens of species move freely through the space lanes. Below, on the capital's surface, the crystalline spires had been reformed, their once imposing shapes now flowing in patterns that celebrated unity rather than authority. Still hard to believe sometimes, isn't it? Mahjong appeared beside her, now wearing the insignia of the newly formed Interspecies Science Division. A year ago, we were fighting for survival. Now look at us. Chen nodded, watching as a human transport docked alongside a Nexaran vessel. The Dominion spent millennia trying to keep species separate, convince us all that we needed their guidance. They never imagined this. Admiral, Lieutenant Park's voice came through the comm. The Council is ready for your address. In the Grand Chamber of the Concordat, representatives from every known species waited. Some floated as pure energy, others existed as crystalline formations, while others took forms that defied easy description. Unity, they had learned, didn't mean uniformity. Chen took her place at the podium, facing the assembled delegates. Among them, she spotted familiar faces. Ambassador Ktel, now the Nexaran chief representative, the Aetherian Collective's primary voice, the Meyer Concordance's crystal speaker, and of course, Earth's own delegation. 1 year ago, Chen began, we gathered not in peace, but in war. We fought not just against domination, but against the very idea that any one species had the right to control another. The Dominion believed that separation was strength, that different species working together would lead to chaos. She gestured to the chamber around them. Look at what we've achieved instead. The quantum tunnel technology that won the war. It's now the backbone of our new transportation network, combining Earth science, Nexaran phase technology, Aetherian energy manipulation, and Meyer crystalline amplification. What one species could never achieve alone, we accomplished together. The displays around the chamber lit up, showing images from across the galaxy. The Meridian colonies, once devastated, now rebuilt with technology from a dozen worlds. The former Dominion shipyards, transformed into research centers where scientists from all species worked side by side. The Quantum Defense Network, protecting not just one species but all of them. But our greatest achievement isn't technological, Chen continued. It's understanding. The Dominion feared what would happen if species freely mixed, freely shared, freely loved. They feared we would lose our uniqueness, our identity. Instead, we've discovered that unity makes us stronger precisely because of our differences. She activated a final display, showing the Hyperion. The ship had been modified, incorporating technology from every allied species, becoming something entirely new while remaining uniquely itself. Like this ship, we are transformed by our connections, enhanced by our differences, made better by our unity. The Dominion sought to write a story of separation and control. Together, we're writing a different story. In orbit, the combined fleet performed a synchronized maneuver, ships from every species moving in perfect harmony. Quantum fields shimmered alongside phase shifts, energy trails mixed with crystalline lights, creating a display that would have been impossible a year ago. Today, we formalize what we have already proven, Chen announced. That the galaxy belongs to all of us, that every species has something unique to contribute, that together, we are greater than the sum of our parts. The chamber erupted in approval, each species expressing joy in their own way. Energy beings pulsed with bright colors, crystalline forms refracted light in complex patterns, and organic beings cheered or clicked or hummed. Later, back on the Hyperion, Chen found herself in the ship's newly established garden, a space designed by combining Earth botany with alien bioengineering. Here, plants from 100 worlds grew together, creating something entirely new and beautiful. Maya found her there, holding a pad with the latest scientific breakthroughs. "The quantum unity theory is working," she reported excitedly. "We're discovering that reality itself seems to favor cooperation over isolation. The more we work together, the more possibilities we unlock." Chen smiled, touching a flower that seemed to glow with its own inner light, a hybrid of Earth and Aetherian biology. The Dominion's greatest fear was that they would become irrelevant. In trying to prevent that, they made it inevitable. But their legacy isn't all darkness. "Oh," Maya raised an eyebrow. "They'd brought us together, made us prove that different species could not just coexist, but thrive together. In trying to keep us apart, they created something they never imagined possible: true unity." Above them, through the garden's transparent dome, the stars shone brightly, not as distant, unreachable points of light, but as beacons of possibility. Each one represented not just new worlds to explore, but new connections to make, new combinations to discover, new ways to grow. The galaxy was entering a new dawn, and humanity had helped light the way, not through dominance or control, but through something far more powerful: the simple, unshakable belief that together anything was possible. And in the vast, endless expanse of space, that belief shone brighter than any star.